attempt numero dos. This is just to check to see. There we go. There's my quality options. So yeah, we had a little bit of a hiccup getting started. We're ready to go now. So I do owe you an explanation and an apology for starting late. I was on a trip the last few days. So for those of you that didn't get any of the previous announcements or otherwise are wondering what was going on, basically I went to Vancouver from, I think, last Wednesday, and then I started flying back Saturday evening. But to give you an idea of sort of how long the flight was and sort of when I scheduled everything, my calendar sort of basically said I actually started Sunday morning. This is because we time traveled. We went through about 3 hours of time zone, so there's a little ambiguity in terms of how in terms of when I traveled, depending on what time you're seeing. I'm just taking a minute here to load up Industries of Titan, and then we should be good to go. There it is. So I had a wonderful time. Maybe I'll talk about some of it here. Maybe I'll just try and get back into the streaming. And I really kind of worked out oh, sorry, there's going to be a cinematic, so.
Titan. Everyone comes to Titan with a dream.
Thank you, Dr. Frankenvinder.
Our moon is one of
Hello,
limitless wealth. There are ancient riches here for those with the strength to claim them. But some dreams start smaller. A better life, more dignity, more comfort. Today, Titan is a place where you can buy those dreams, where anyone can profit. But it isn't easy. You have to prove yourself here. Those who settle here take that risk. And without their diligent labor, our power grid would fail. Pollution would overwhelm us. And our trade would collapse. It's hard work, but on Titan, hard work isn't enough. The bold, the strong, those are the people Titan rewards. Those are the ones who see their dreams through. Exceptional people. Friends to the Council. That is why we're giving you this opportunity, Founder. We expect great things from you. Make sure you live up to our expectations.
Still don't get tired of that cinematic. They did a wonderful job with it, and a wonderful job with this game. So let me get my hellos out of the way. We've got Dr. Frankenvinder coming in with 2 years of subscriptions. Thank you very much for that. I'm afraid that I did not have any grave dirt coffee with me, and in fact, that's probably one of the reasons why I come to you all belatedly. And then, of course, well, Delves 22nd of their name. Thank you very much. Definitely a name I don't want to take for granted, but one who shocks me a little bit in terms of just the speed in which they're able to join the stream. And we've got Olaf. Olaf, how you doing? That's an alert I usually expect to see while I've been streaming for a little while. So, yeah. So I do really want to jump into the game that we were continuing. I want to see if we can turn this ship around and take out the rebels. And part of that is because if you take a quick look, we've got next update in 1 day. So, you know, going away for a little while has it has its consequences. But let me talk a little bit. So one of the reasons why I'm asleep, other than the fact that I did not have the coffee, So I had a lot of traveling over the weekend. So flew out to for those of you that don't know, flew out to Vancouver on Wednesday morning, basically at the crack of dawn. And then I came back. The first flight that I had was, to me, Saturday evening. Although, depending on which calendar you look at, I pretty much left Sunday morning. Although Sunday morning in only the strictest, most literal sense possible, once you accounted for the time difference, which I do not. And I kind of spent all of Sunday either on planes or in airports. And I was originally planning on getting some sleep, but I also kind of forget, like, I don't fly a whole lot. And I am periodically a nervous flyer. This is actually a really weird thing where sometimes I will, like, sometimes I'll look out and, like, I'll want to watch, like, the takeoff, and I'll like really be amazed at the fact that I'm, like, seeing the tops of clouds and all of that. And then occasionally I will see the exact same thing and have kind of the normal reaction. Well, maybe not normal reaction, but like the understandable, like, oh my god, we're so high up, we're all gonna die moment. I've never had the loss of control thing being a problem. Like, I've never felt nervous about that, but there is this really interesting, like, on one side it's the awe of, like, oh wow, we're like, this is amazing that we're up here and seeing this stuff. And then there's the feeling of we are committing the terrible the terrible crime of flight. Man was not meant to fly. The gods will spite us all. That sort of stuff. So I had this wonderful time to read some of my book, and then occasionally punctuated with sheer terror as I realize we're really high up there. So. Contrary to popular opinion, traveling, even for leisure, is very tiring, and for some, very uncomfortable. Life-loading screen quote. Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's so most of the this is the other thing too, is like, because I read the news and all of that. I was on various forms of the 737, so I had a couple of 737 Max. I think a 737-8, which, for those of you that don't recall, it's the one that had that automatic system that they sort of kept secret and resulted in two major crashes in what was it? It's a couple of African airlines. I don't remember the specific names of them. Now, that's not the worry that I have, right? Like, that's but, like, on the other hand, I have a memory for this sort of stuff, right? So when I see the name, I'm like, oh, that's fun. That's like the first plane I've been on in 5 years is the only one that I actually know had a technical defect and was grounded because of its, because of that fact. Well, yeah, I don't know. I definitely found a couple of the cabins a bit cramped, and of course, as on the window side. So in addition to the fact that the seatbelt sign may be off, but that doesn't mean, like, take it off and just go wandering. I suspect I would have very much annoyed a number of the people I was with if I decided that I really wanted to stretch my legs. So yeah, I mean, part of it was sleeping, caught up on a few podcasts. Looked out the window, got a lot of my book read. But overall, I don't know. If I could, actually, one thing I really want to try at some point, I originally wanted to do this when I was a plane urine passed through a storm passing through Baltimore. Never do plane kids stay on Earth. Yeah. There are two cases I've had where I got the distinct impression that things did not work the way that they were supposed to. One was kind of coming into Kelowna, which, that was a long time ago, and it was just, kind of, I don't know, like, things weren't right. My landing in Vancouver, like, I didn't really feel too bad about most of the flights. However, when I landed in Vancouver, the like, we landed and, like, everything lurched to the left. Like, planes don't normally do that. but we kind of like corrected and like came in and everything slowed down, and I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna die. I'll get to see most of the people who I want to see. But that would have really sucked because it would have meant I had all the experience of flying but didn't get any of the benefits of visiting. Anyways, though, really wonderful time in Vancouver. I got some interesting news, which I'm gonna hold off on. Well, okay, actually, tell you what. I don't know quite what the state of the things are, but I believe I will be getting an offer from a. I believe I'll be getting an offer for one of the game publishers. That was what my email said. It has been a little. Excuse me. It has been a little while since they said that. So, I won't take it for granted until I either sign or give them a response that says, you know what, really appreciate it, but I don't think the offer is quite what I was looking for. But that was one thing that came in. There's a bunch of stuff that I've been either wanting to work on quietly in the background, or I have been working on quietly in the background, and I shared that with a few people. And I left very encouraged. I had a really nice professor that I used to have in classics, and I got to share a couple of ideas with him and his wife, who's actually also a classmate of mine, which had come as news to me way back when. But sorry, I realize that when I say that might sound very inappropriate. Suffice to say that is, it's cool. I obviously started school after a few years. The prof is actually quite young for a prof, and my classmate. The age thing is fine, and I believe they got together quite a bit after school, but anyways, they not only did they hear some of the stuff that I said, they were incredibly complimentary in their statements, but actually offered to help. They said, is there anything we can do to help some of this, help you make this? And the problem is that because I'd put some of the stuff on the shelf, I didn't actually, I need to get back to work before I could start asking people for help on it. So, and I think that's very fair. Again, I know I spent a whole lot of time warming up the stream. I'm going to take a minute here and go, because there's so many details that I could talk about that were great. But it's been, I think, 5 years since I moved out to Ottawa. And there's little details about Ottawa for me, which... I haven't bought bookshelves, and I kind of want to buy bookshelves because it'd be really nice if my apartment wasn't just completely overrun with these huge stacks of books. But on the other hand, it's it's a temporary thing here, right? I got a chance to see a lot of really wonderful and supportive people, and it reminded me why I still very much think of Vancouver as home. The people who gave me the original reason to stop out, obviously friends are a great reason, but there was a specific invitation, which I don't think there's any need to be secret or coy about, but I also don't know if I ever chatted about talking about sort of the details of the trip on stream. So yeah, that's a thing about Industries of Titan delves. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wait for the game itself, and we'll see if that's still a thing. Actually, maybe in my settings I can reset this. Yes. That's probably not enough, is it? Let's try 6. That might be too quiet now. I don't know. We'll give it a shot when we're in the game. But yeah. Anyways, I mean, I didn't. There wasn't a you're sworn to secrecy kind of chat or anything like that. But on the other hand, I'd love to gush and tell all the details and talk about what an amazing trip it was. But I don't know. Maybe I don't know if anybody wanted me to blab. So I'll leave it there. Yeah. Funny thing is I think I did get some feedback that the game was a bit loud on the last time I did Titan, and so I think I don't know. I think I corrected it, but I corrected it in OBS, so I'm going to try and correct it in the game and see if that sort of helps out. I am, however, going to talk a little bit about Industries of Titan. Again, I'd love to go into details about the Vancouver trip. I'll maybe try and sprinkle those throughout the next little while. Needless to say, I was, it almost felt like every day was the best. It started off really, really strong. I wound up going to a very, 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 very cool place. And it was like across the board, just like, wow, this is so cool. Like, I expected it to be cool, but I didn't expect it to be this cool. I caught up with an old manager friend who is, again, just being able to talk with them and see what they're up to and fill in so many details, see their kid, just be able to do some of that was great. Ran into some friends. Actually, this is one detail I will give. So the friends I was staying with were somewhat remote, like relative to all the other places I was going to be, which I didn't really factor into in my trip. It saved me a ton in terms of staying somewhere. But it did create a little bit of awkwardness in terms of like just where I needed to be and like, timings and things like that. But like I slept in, I kid you not, like the best bed I've ever been. I mean, the bed came up to like sort of my, I don't know, like my midsection. Like it just massive thing, super comfortable. And the bathroom was like the size, I think I'm almost certain like the guest bathroom was like bigger than my bedroom. They'd probably be competing, but just like a beautiful home, and just a great place to stay. Everybody fed me. This was also wonderful. Like I got to try so much different food. I haven't had anything to drink for like a really, really long time. So, but my friends knew I was really into whiskey, so I got to try some absurdly fancy, unpronounceable scotches, and just all sorts of different food. I had proper sushi like for the first time in forever. But yeah, the next day, just start up again, get in touch with a bunch of people. There was a weird thing where I called in to work because there was a project I was working on, and I, one, wanted to make sure I was properly credited, and two, there's actually a part that I had that my colleagues had tried to cut out. It was actually one of the stronger parts of the presentation. I realize that's like me talking my own book here, but no, it was and recognized as one of the stronger parts of the presentation. So I want to make sure it wasn't like silently cut partway through, which I realize is not the nicest thing to say, but it is what it is. Immediately afterwards, met a famous person. Well, they're all famous, but somebody in independent development, and proceeded to make an ass of myself in conversation. But they're remarkably tolerant, and I actually got a chance to see them again in the presentation, on the trip. But a very cool person who's involved with the game that if you haven't played it, you've almost certainly heard of it. So yeah, that was fun. I think that was also when I got the news about the potential job offer. I think that brings me to Friday. Friday, I genuinely thought I wasn't going to be able to meet everything, but I got to meet, again, another dear friend who I haven't seen in a very long time. Went to a party. The party was something like I talked about how cool the place was at the beginning, and then the party was like, oh my god, what is this? I didn't know what to do with myself, and again, just got to meet a lot of very cool people and eat their food and try not to embarrass myself too much. And then the Saturday. Sorry, I said I was going to talk about Titan, but I figured I might as well sort of say what it was. The biggest thing, like I took a look at some of my Apple, just like the data on it afterwards, and just like I pretty much, the only time I stopped moving was like when I met with someone, and it very often would do a lot of walking. So on Saturday, I wanted to make sure the time was specifically spent with my friends who were hosting me, because as you might hear, it's not a whole lot of time spent with the people who are so kindly keeping me in their home. So I kind of wanted to do that, and my Oblivion videos sound very deep versus.
Well, whenever I do the Elder Scrolls videos, I'm kind of doing it in character as Caius, Spellsword, Dunmer, Eternal Champion, former head of the Blades in Vardenfell.
And no voice editor. Yeah. So, Lionel, I think you might have been one of the people who followed when I tried to do 24 hours of videos each day, but I didn't have an access to Twitch after all of that. So, my apologies to those of you who were looking forward to more of that. Those video, I do have another video recorded for. I do have another video recorded for tomorrow. But yeah, no voice editors. I don't know enough about audio to actually do those kinds of edits.
But it is kind of fun to drop into the voice every once in a while.
On Friday, actually, I shredded my voice at the party. But yeah, overall, I'm incredibly grateful. No, that's not an effect. That's that.
Delves, I'll say whatever you want me to say right now, although I guess you can't see me not hit any buttons.
That is not an easy voice to make. I used to read all of the texts in Elder Scrolls, and I like it. That was really starting to kill my voice. So, that's really. I'm happy to hear that, Olaf. But yeah, I tried logging into Twitch for an adjustment. I think it was just. I think it was something about using the site on mobile. Like what I kept trying to do was like shift around the videos that were in the rerun, and it didn't seem to actually be holding. So it would be like repeats of the same reruns over and over again. Although if there's interest in seeing like a big massive list of them, like now that I'm back in Vancouver or in Ottawa, I'll totally run those again. God, we're at 20 minutes. So let me just put it here. I am incredibly grateful to the people who invited me out. It gave me a wonderful reason, and if anything, my regret is that I couldn't like just individually take every single one of them and like sit them down for a day and like just download the contents of their head. The number of people I met just in sheer levels of like accomplishment and kindness and just ability, like everyone I met are people who, if they weren't so nice, I'd have like a secret grudge, and I'd like be super envious of them, and I'm definitely envious of them. But it's like, again, because they're so nice, it's like you can't say anything to me. Your petty orc voice impressions don't hold a cat. Oh, thank you, Delves. Yeah, shame on me for picking a dark elf at the start of my Elder Scrolls series. Those are all on YouTube, by the way. So if any of you want to do your own 24-hour broadcast, those are all properly on playlists. So you can check out wherever you want. You can basically see that character from the Elder Scrolls arena up to wherever we've gotten in Oblivion. And we're getting pretty deep in the main story on Oblivion. So, but yeah, no, I don't know. I know some of you've gotten the impression that I've been feeling not so great about work stuff, and I dealt a little with that. Obviously, I called in with work, but to be able to go to a place and just kind of hear, feel appreciated and see people who are doing lots of really interesting things, and people who, no matter what's going on in their lives, are just getting good stuff done. you know, it was very good for sort of just recentering, and I definitely have some clear ideas in terms of how I would like to spend my time. I am not going to pull back from streaming at all. I'm going to, I see that as very much complementary to things I want to do. But I definitely want to make sure that I'm getting a little more disciplined with my free time to, you know, realize a few of these projects that I'm either doing for people or that I've been sitting on and not wanting to do. One of those includes writing, by the way, because I know a lot of you did like the blogs, and I've been truant on those. So, the one thing I did want to say before I started the game is that I am currently playing Industries of Titan on Epic. Brace Yourself Games was kind enough to give me a key. Obviously, this game has now been released on Steam as well, so you can pick it up wherever you want. But it is worth remembering that while it has been a while, and I clearly enjoyed this game on my own, they did give me a key for promotional purposes, and I clearly think they are the bee's knees, along with the rest of the bee, really. They're the whole bee. And actually, let me just take a quick second here and point you to their Discord. I think they might have a survey that's going on right now, so if you've not done it, you might have a little while longer to... Let me just double check. Survey closes on November 1st. It might be closed already. Anyways, one way or the other, they're good people, and if you want to interact with more members of the team, you can do that there. But as always, you know, we live in the age of the influencer, right? So you do. It is important to to disclose those sorts of details. I, however, am going to jump onto Titan and see whether or not we can outdo the rebels. Nobody knows how it came to be, but Titan's denizens are grateful for their man-made sun's light, meager as it might be. So we are playing Nair Trust, so we're at currently 44%. We are building a fearsome ship. Do we already have one of them fearsome ships? Apparently we do not. No, we do. The Fractured Grizzly. Oh man, I keep forgetting. So actually, one of the reasons why I'm playing this today, so I do definitely want to do some more, sorry, words. I want to do some more Stellaris. However, I was watching the Brace Yourself channel, which I will shout out to you right here. And I didn't realize that the update that we were looking for was that's coming out this month is actually coming out tomorrow. So if I want to try and wrap up the story of Nair Trust, that's got to happen tonight, and we'll see whether or not I can actually pull it off, because obviously we are recovering after a pretty savage attack from the rebels. So we're definitely going to be putting some more effort towards the shipyard, towards just generally realizing these weapons of war. Oh, the sumptuous Hyperion. Where are you? Probably in... Yep. So on the Brace Yourself stream today, I learned that apparently the origin of these names, there was a bunch of sort of randomly generated names, but because that creates problems for localization, I believe they are the good ones selected from a list, if I got that correctly. So that's a neat little detail I wasn't aware of. What else was I going to say? But yeah, I mean, we're more or less repaired as far as where we want to go with the with the base. We've got 2 rebel camps. The rebels are getting stronger in terms of taking us on, but I think at this point here, I just need to get my, I need to get my workers back. I need to get my city back underway. And the way I'm mostly just going to dig myself out of this is that we are going to sort of arrest the decline. We're going to make sure that I've got a sort of a navy to face whatever rebel attack comes in, and then we are going to turn and take out a camp. In fact, if I have sort of a full navy, I might even be tempted to just go and try and take out the rebels on their own. But we are ready to continue on. I'd love some feedback if you are finding that the game is still... Ooh, that's a slow mover. Oh, that's right. Yeah, because there's adjustments that I want to make to the design. But let's build a new one first. I can just use this to slowly move around. Or scout or whatever it is I think I'm doing. It'd be kind of neat, actually. I wonder if there's the idea that in future you could build a... No, that ain't right. Why are you idle? So if I have idle workers, they should be contributing to this construction. Oh, yes. Okay. Yeah, I think I'll live with that for now. It's not super efficient, but I've been sort of rebuilding my my resources. Yeah, so we're gonna complete this ship first. I suppose there's room for sort of added frivolity, but I think we'll live with the current configuration, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring the other ship back to get properly refit with some more power. Not enough fuel, you say? Looks to me like you're generating plenty. There we go. I think we could just turn on the rest of the... Yeah. Actually, think we didn't have anything turned off. Are we at our cap? Looks like we are. Anyway, as we know, we're already, we're basically ready to go. This is just a matter of getting enough bodies in to turn the ship into the perfect form, the final form. I do want to try and get some more workers where I can, but again, I want to be careful in terms of how I'm using my resources. This is going to mean... So I probably want to get a second shipyard up and running before too much time passes. I also don't think it would hurt to have a few turrets. I know I've been sort of running a... Didn't want to start that fight, but we'll finish it. Fortunately, this should be a pretty easy little contest. So I was just thinking, as far as the ships go, hang on. They were shooting at me. I sort of thought I was demolishing their weapon systems enough to keep them from being able to do that. One thing I'm doing here is just trying to take out their life support pretty quickly. So this isn't really taken out the... I suppose if I want to think more carefully about this, this isn't really taking out what I want. Let's try and use this to clear out some of the enemies. Yeah, that's one way to do it. So close. Okay, this should finish him off. Alright, so we have some fuel and whatnot, but this is actually getting pretty close to being ready to go. Again, I do want to have a conversion center that's properly up and running. For one reason or another, this is still not getting cleaned. Oh, the employees. I really feel like I should be upgrading the smokestack. Let's do it. So this was going to be reserved for isotope extraction. And I'm not completely opposed to that. So this is a pretty questionable choice that I'm making right here because the Fractured Grizzly is not the strongest ship that I have in my fleet. Ooh. Let's see how well we can handle. Definitely have some defenders. Yeah, no, they're gonna come and beat me up. Okay, so we are going to try and pull the same nonsense. They ran off. No, that's because I was running off. I mean, we're going to be repairing the ship anyway, right? So we might as well come after them. So here, this is just a matter of, you know, getting out of the danger zone. Did they run off again? Nope, I'm just being impatient. Okay, so yes there, yes there. Wait, where's the life support? Oh, right here. I should probably turn the fuel turbine back on. Okay, so this was kind of the addition that we were most interested in the new update, the new tech tree. I'm still interested in it, but let's try and focus on what other improvements we can make in the meantime. Again, I do want to have another shipyard down. Well, here's what I can do. Let's maybe say, so I might build a road down here. But for now, let's just kind of secure that pathway. I can give up too. So this is pure waste, really, but it helps me plan. So I think it's pretty clear that we're going to need a second shipyard if I'm going to be doing this nonsense. Game to voice ratio working? I hope it is. Okay, under ship blueprints, we'll call this the HQ masher. I'm gonna do something kind of reckless. We're close to being in range, but we're not quite where we need to be. And I've got too much influence again, so what else can I do? Pretty much... I think we've pretty much claimed everything, so unless I put down another... another command center, we're just gonna have to get used to not using all of our influence. So say this shipyard gets a priority. The next thing I want to build is a conversion center. I do have a little bit of a question of where. I suppose I can fit it in here and then nobody will complain. Okay. I am going to start running out of isotopes soon. Ooh, that was a mistake. Alright then. So this has done a fairly good job of just, you know, clearing out the bad guys. Whether I blow up the guy on the ship or whether I don't, there's only one left, so in this case we just need to wrap it up. Now we're quite short on workers, so that is going to be a... Oh, look how speedy that thing is. That's beautiful. And I think probably through the amount that I've been spending, it sort of feels like, I don't know. I kind of feel like we've stalled out a little bit. Okay, people aren't working the prioritized tasks. Let's just take a minute here and make sure we've got people working in the factory. Okay, nobody's working on isotopes, which fair enough, but maybe in that spirit we don't need dedicated workers for that. That isotope choice is eventually going to come back to bite me, but... So normally this is around the point I'd just be like, okay, well let's just throw some more bodies, throw some more bodies on the pile and we'll be done. We are at a point here where I do actually need all this stuff to get built. So unless the conversion center gets cleaned up, which I'm sure it will be at some point, but right now it's not happening. I'm going to let the Fractured Grizzly get a repair. Now the bit of good news here is that we're going to be able to unload a bunch of employees, and they'll be able to do all this other work while the repairs occur. So the original plan would have been that that thing would run interference while the Sumptuous Hyperion took out the turret. The thing is that if it moves slowly, and I didn't quite anticipate what the turret's move was going to be, it may find itself in a bad spot. So what we're going to do here is we're going to jump back into the shipyard. We will... right now I'm just going to take everybody off the ship. We do need the repair to happen. And we'll also spec out for the more engine version. We may not actually be able to afford it. I messed up. Okay, I did stick fuel. That'll still work. Just do one of these. Alright, so this is going to take a while. I can probably realign it. Yeah, so we've got a priority repair job, which will happen after we do the building. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm just going to let nature take its course in on that one. We're doing okay. We did actually have the rebel threat meter drop for a little bit, so overall we're doing well. It's pretty clear that I'm going to need to make up my my resources. So it does mean things like the, just the energy plants, the clearing up the conversion center. All of these things kind of need to happen. I'm upgrading the smokestack, one, in anticipation of having another conversion center to get people, in the jobs that I need them to be. And then hopefully what that's going to do is that's going to reduce the waste enough that the, we'll start seeing this one cleared out. We're going to be able to do more conversions than we would have before. But for the time being, we do have, we kind of have our work cut out for us. The big worry that I'll have is that taking out rebel territory is going to be... That's a pretty aggressive move, so that is going to provoke a rebel response. And while it is true that I can put down some turrets to defend myself, again, assuming that I have the minerals, that does mean that I take those resources and I don't put them towards building better shipyards, which is not ideal. Or, towards better ships. The new PC case you ordered has only now, at 9:26 local time, begun its shipping process after 2 weeks. Oh, good lord. I'm sorry, Delves. It's not like some special custom thing where they need to, like, design it all by hand, is it? I'm not trying to find a way to, like, blame you for the delay, but that's... maybe the better way for me to put it would be, there's nothing special about it that would suggest it would take that long. I'm assuming. Standard off-the-shelf case. Must be one of them supply chain problems I keep hearing about. Do I want to upgrade the science lab? Not until I have more workers. I think we'll... oh, but we did get our new... we got our energy drinks. Okay, so what do we want? For those of you who are unfamiliar with it, this is the new tech, currently called Tech Tree. I believe will be renamed Tech Web. And you can basically... So what's neat about it... Actually, so I got to learn a little more about it. I'll leave it at that. But basically, there's a neat thing about this where you kind of unlock different nodes to... basically to, like, some of the stuff you used to take for granted in the game is you now kind of have to work towards it, and you follow this sort of maze of different different nodes, so you can research one at a time. I'm just trying to take it. So the extra long pipes might be kind of helpful. Automated light shield, that's a device. I'm not going to build those. Unlocks building, redistributes harmful pollution as well as right, that's the industrial fan. I don't need a heron. We've already got a tier 3 ship. Well, a heron would be nice, but better HQ range is actually kind of tempting. I don't think that would still be enough for the mineral node, though. Yeah, so adding one to the HQ range would, in essence, wouldn't even get me that. It would give me 1 ruin. Exactly 1 ruin. So yeah, maybe we can just leave that be. New science advisor coming in the new patch. So lower mine pollution. Well, we're not really using mines right now. The reinforcement pillar would be kind of nice because we haven't actually tried this yet. I think the extra long pipes are probably the one I'm most interested in right now. So the way this works, we unlocked the energy drink. This is actually the node we're working on right now. So we'll pay 2 artifacts to open up this path. So I'm going to spend 60 minutes to research the extra long pipes. Now we can't access caffeine hits right now. 20% employee movement speed. We'd probably have to go one down the line. So it's a little bit of a maze, a little bit of a map, and it's randomly generated. So I think that adds kind of a neat little dimension to the game. Looks like we've got our repairs done. So we'll add employees. This is going to leave us very short on workforce. But, you know, it's got to be done, right? Do I go to... Oh, we're already at a level 3 smokestack, so everything's good there. The roadway is coming along nicely. So once this mine gets built... I didn't realize it was a priority. I'll get isotopes here just because I know we're going to be short on the basics. But yeah, now that I got the two big ships, I do eventually want to, you know, I want to get this thing up and running. I think as a kind of as an intermediate step, I do kind of want to get my employees back and up to where they should be. So I'm going to worry about these conversion centers first. We do have the nice, you know, nice batch of smokestacks and such. I think I'm just going to leave the fuel turbine on at this point. But once the shipyard's ready to go, once it's got the full crew, we won't worry about building additional ships quite yet. Actually, one thing I do also want to do is start trying to, as much as I can, clear out these waste receptacles. I don't think I'm quite ready to upgrade the transport hub. Obviously, we don't have enough trucks sort of running around at the moment anyway. It's very sad to see us losing some of the different radar buildings. But yeah, so we'll wait for the fractured grizzly to get kind of get loaded up. These conversion centers will eventually be built. Okay, yeah, we knew there's no free workers. Once I have something of a pipeline for getting additional workers, we will. I'll bring people back onto that line, but right now we're gonna focus on the smokestack. Eventually, the mine's gonna get built, so we'll have a body to deal with that. They'll definitely bring in a bunch of isotopes. That's what I need to worry about at the moment. As far as minerals are concerned, we have 93 that we can still take advantage of. Okay. And I have 2 speedy ships. So again, there is the possibility that this is going to provoke the rebels, and that we're going to have a fight on our hands. It's a pretty small HQ. So I'm dealing with the damage dealer first. After following that, I'll take out the HQ. I might even take out the shipyard, just as a precaution. Now, here's a question for you. One of the plans was to try and take out the rebels before they took me out. If I get this done early, and we are definitely it's way too soon for us to be declaring victory, but if I were to wrap this up early enough, would you like me to try and do another round of Titan, maybe something like a time contract, or would there be interest in seeing Phantom Brigade? Because one sad reality is that there's a whole lot of new maps that got added to the latest Phantom Brigade update, but because I was traveling, I did the kind of the opposite of what normally happens, which is I spent all this time on Industries of Titan, and I haven't actually played the new Phantom Brigade patch yet, which I feel a little bad about because I really enjoy Phantom Brigade, and I try to do the most recent update for each game. It was just the fact that I knew I'd be traveling that I didn't play Phantom when the new patch first came out. So what I think I'm going to do here, we'll take the Sumptuous Hyperion. They're going to start working on that shipyard. I'm going to move back to the shipyard just so that we can heal up. Again, there might be some angry rebels that show up in response to our nasty business. Also means that I get to sort of throw out some bodies for the work. So yeah, that's pretty big boost to our threat level. And again, we're not in any particular rush, so we'll just move the employees out so we can get a proper run. Ooh, 82. We better hope those repairs happen pretty soon. This is one of the reasons why I wanted to have those engines built and ready to go on the on the Fractured Grizzly, because you can see that if we sent that one to deal with the rebel base over here, you know, we'd be swarmed by the enemy, and it's that'd be it. Okay, I think I'm gonna wait for a defense turret. That was probably what the doctor ordered right now. I'm rather interested in the fact that it's got 5 people working on construction and upgrades. You know what, I'll just let nature take its course. I trust the game to make the appropriate decision. So we'll see how much the threat meter goes up by in response to this destruction. Repairs are almost done, so I'm actually going to bring the crew in early just because we may have some angry rebels coming after us. That's a great little bit of animation.
No
Yep.
peace for the council or their pathetic servants. You're going down, Founder.
All right. Admiral Yamaha is gracing us with its presence. That's a reflection of the soundtrack. That's not a weird name that I've gotten for the new rebel leader. I actually really like the voice acting that they've done for that guy. So I'm pretty sure there's going to be more than one ship. Okay, how are we going to handle it? Oh wow, that thing has nothing on it, so this will be basically an autopilot fight. Really? They only brought one ship, huh? Fair enough. So there'll be a little damage along the side, but the music isn't too loud for chat, is it? Oh, there it is. We need 2 more bodies and then we can bring it up. So they are slowly getting taken out. They're attacking the shipyard, which is actually not the worst target. It'll cost us a little bit as far as credits go. As long as this thing stays alive, we've got a pretty easy time with this one. I'm never gonna get through this floor. This will be glorious. Leave my yard alone! Fractured Grizzly wants to let his displeasure be known. I've seen this layout before. Well, I've probably seen it before, I'm just not remembering. Okay, so let's hit the med bay. And where's their life support? Ah! It's a pretty tricky ship. I'm kind of curious whether or not... Okay, yeah, we're not going to be able to take him out. So just enough to save him. This one's going to go up soon, though. So one of the details I really like about this is once you see this Rainbreaker go up, we can just take a quick peek. It's not going to be during the night, but we can just see reflections on the water. It's pretty. Okay, so I'll let those two kind of sort it out amongst themselves. We can't fight more than one at a time. I believe the rebels can. I just don't think we're allowed to. So in the meantime, I'm going to see if I can remember where this base is. Oh, we got our mine up. Wasn't paying attention. So there's no way I'm going to get trucks here. This is just going to be a standard pickup job. But honestly, at this point, let's just pick a tasty looking isotopes patch and just start working on them. It seems like I have a lot of isotopes, but watch me try and do an upgrade and they're going to vanish pretty quick. So I don't think I'm going to mess around with this quite yet. So these could need a little bit, just in terms of repairs. I'm not going to do that, though. We're actually going to head straight, once this rebel camp is done, we're going to head straight to the other base. One thing I might consider would be to build a defense turret, but those are quite expensive. And we still have some waste problems. Get someone working on... Let's start with the upgrades first. It's very curious that the employee's not going to that job.
How many rebel ships will you destroy before you see the light and join us, Founder?
I'm going to leave that be for now, but I have a feeling I'm going to have to go in and intervene with Oh no! We have no... There's no hope against the common salvation. Save yourselves. So I'm just trying to think of some of the things that I can do to free up bodies right now. Okay, there we go. So again, we took a little damage here, but this is just because it's going to draw out the defender. clever. That still doesn't count as being in range. Interesting. Okay. So, usual story. Oh, wow. Yeah, this is a pretty straightforward one to take out. So basically what I want to see right now, you know, we've got some workers kind of running around doing their thing. I'm curious what hang on, 7 jobs for a bit. No, that's fine. I was just curious. I thought there were devices under construction, but I just misread that menu. Let's hit the repair all button. And again, I want to get this stuff just done so that we can move on and start getting some more employees. I can empty out my ships, but that's not quite how I want to solve my employment problems. I'm a little curious that our threat level's 1, given that we just took out a headquarters, but I'm not going to question it. Okay. 1 conversion center's coming up, that's good. So this one will just move straight in to take out the turret. Now this isn't ideal. It would be nice if I had more than 1 unit working on this. But we should be able to hold our own for a little while. Now, the one real drawback here is that I remember earlier on in the playthrough it definitely looked like we were going to lose. Or I was going to lose. It's we when we win, and it's I when I lose. So, and definitely I remember there were a few people asking, is it possible to come back from this? I don't know how many people who are asking that are presently in the chat, but I am a little curious how many people thought we were going to pull this off. I'm going to turn off this fuel turbine for a bit. I got to make this a priority because we're going to run out of energy if we don't. Although I can make life a little easier for myself. Yeah, so it looks like one of these would have been sufficient for taking out the rebel turret, but I find it I don't think it's the worst thing in the world to bring more firepower and minimize the damage to my ships. What are some other things that I can turn off? I just need to make the batteries last long enough. I guess I could turn off the Monument Center, although I think it also improves the rate at which I acquire tickets, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, here we go. So, down to half health, but we'll have a second ship to help with the cleanup duty. So the thing that's funny about this particular playthrough is obviously I laid the groundwork for my, my big. I guess we did sort of make the big factory, but the system shop, if you will. But we never really had that thing running at full capacity. There's sort of a reason for that. We've been struggling with we've been struggling with space for employees pretty much for the whole run. But it's one thing. So the one sort of defect with the huge design that I do is it is quite worker heavy, and if you don't have a reliable way of getting those workers, it doesn't really matter how quickly you can churn out your resources. Still, it's fun to have, right? The purpose of building such an object is not necessarily for efficient use. It's to say that you're the type of person who did build it. So it'd be nice if we could unify these. Oh. Congratulations on your victory, Founder. The Council appreciates your efforts. Sorry, I wasn't looking at the moment of victory. So, our final market cap, 2,896,544... Sorry, 2,896,544,768 credits. We were the Nair Trust. In game time, it was 29 hours, 11 minutes, 4 seconds. And we accomplished our victory in 10 hours, 55 minutes, 56 seconds in real time. That was tranquil trailblazing. So if you ever wanted to see what, was going on, just in terms of what's gonna, basically, this is a way that you can get a measure so my understanding at least, this is a way that you can get a little bit of a measure in terms of what provokes the rebels the most. Now it is a little bit tricky because you sort of need to get a unit value for these, and of course that's definitely something I've done. But you've got minerals. The higher the tier, the more they're worth. So 287 tier 3 minerals is worth 150 million, whereas 327 tier 2 minerals is worth a mere 34. So definitely there's a lot of value packed into these. Actually, I'm a little curious whether or not tier 3 minerals are worth 3 times as much as. I'm not going to go and do the math right now, but waste is a negative, so we're packing a lot of it. 67 million of our value is shaved off just purely because of the amount of waste that we're storing. Artifacts are worth the most in this game. A second would be workers, or is it employees? So if you work it out, workers are, I think it's something like, I think artifacts work out to be something like 4 million or something like that. That's probably wrong looking at those numbers, but yeah, the employees are sort of just like some fraction of not fraction, but some small amount less of artifacts, but they are pretty valuable as far as net worth is concerned, and valuable in game terms. What are the other ones? Pollution, again, unsurprisingly, you get a penalty for those. Oh, initial net worth. I wonder if that changes at all. Why would your initial net worth change? I'm not sure. But yeah, anyways, basically, the bigger these numbers get, the angrier the rebels get. Oh yeah, actually, I'm gonna guess. I've never actually bothered counting that. Yeah, I'm gonna guess rebel buildings are worth quite a bit more than artifacts on the market cap. Out of things you can acquire, the artifacts are worth more. Anyways, we are going to go to the main menu here. So this has been the story of Nair Trust. My question to you again is, where do we want to spend our time? So I'm of two minds here. I'm good to go for Industries of Titan all day today. However, we are going to have a new patch for Industries of Titan tomorrow, as you can see, next update in 1 day, which means Wednesday I'm going to be playing the new patch. So if I play something, it's most likely going to be a time contract. Alternatively, I've got about 90 minutes, and we could put that time into the new Phantom Brigade patch rather than waiting for it for a couple weeks. I'm actually kind of inclined towards Phantom Brigade, so if somebody would really like to see Industries of Titan, now might not be a bad time to speak up, because otherwise I'm thinking it may be a good idea, just so I don't Phantom hype. All right. I'm easily swayed. Again, no dislike for Industries of Titan, but I need to I do want to make sure that I'm not misdiagnosing what's new in the forthcoming Phantom Brigade patch. So oh, interesting. For some reason, Microsoft really wanted me to know the hockey game. All right, where are you, Phantom Brigade? Sorry for the I'm not quite sure what the right way to put it is, but I think that was maybe a little bit more of a relaxed or casual approach to Titan. I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing all the time. But I don't know. We were close to losing, and then we didn't. So I'm happy with how that turned out. But I realize for people who are new, that maybe wasn't the most exciting Titan run. We'll have that for Wednesday for sure. All right, welcome to the Brigade. We're excited for you to experience Phantom Brigade and to have your help shaping its development in its early access period. During the course of development, some aspects of the game might feel rough, sparse, or buggy. Every month, we'll release a major update, which will include bug fixes, new features, and quality of life improvements for players. We appreciate your patience and feedback throughout this process as we work to deliver the most important features and fixes. From the main menu, check out the Early Access Roadmap to see what's coming next for Phantom Brigade. Reach out to us via the Brace Yourself Games Discord community, or read the latest patch notes for the latest changes and known issues. Thank you for joining us on this journey, and we look forward to making Phantom Brigade better and better with your help. Seizure Warning. A very small percentage of people may experience a seizure when exposed to certain visual images, including flashing lights or visual patterns. These seizures have a variety of symptoms, including lightheadedness, altered vision, eye or face twitching, jerking, or shaking of arms or legs, disorientation, confusion, or momentary loss of awareness. Immediately stop playing and consult a doctor if you experience any of these symptoms. If you or your relatives have had a history of seizures or epilepsy, it is recommended that you consult a doctor before playing. Powered by Wise. All right. Now, it is worth remembering, there was a new update for this game since I played it last, which means glorious patch notes time. There was actually Packy Perfect, the head of QA at Brace Yourself Games, was in the chat for the Titan stream today. So let me just take a minute here to get those notes. Oh, there's a bunch of stuff happening on Experimental. Interesting. All right. Oh yes, we have a trailer that we can watch too. With all due... Interesting. With all due respect to the composer, Mr. Koenig, we will enjoy the trailer and then we're going to see what the updates are. What is this resolution? Come on, YouTube. It's very difficult not to get hyped watching a Phantom Brigade trailer. So, in case you haven't noticed, there's a lot of maps in this update. So, patch updates, map attacks, 7 new combat maps, hover tanks, new landing animations for reinforcements, animation improvements, lots of subtle animation improvements, bug fixes, lots of bugs squashed, and more. Phantom Brigade is in early access, which means that we are actively updating and adding new content based on our roadmap and your wonderful feedback. We update Phantom Brigade on the third Tuesday of every month. You can expect the next major update on Tuesday, November 16th, 2021 at 11 a.m. Pacific Time. See the full patch notes below. Changes in 0.12.0B2696. Ask for it by name. And as always, the little metal arm indicates a change due to community feedback. New maps and props. New combat maps have been added to the following sites: farms, mines, energy storage plants, bases, convoys, caches, and outposts. New landing VFX. Reinforcements now have rocket packs to help them land. Improved animations and VFX for landing units. Animation improvements. Improved locomotion for fast mechs. Sprints look faster and movement blends better with different actions. Hit reaction adjustments. Improved the way mechs react to hits from different ballistic weapons and fixed various animation bugs. Holstering and unholstering weapons. Transitions between holstering and unholstering all equipment types has been improved. Miscellaneous. Updated the game credits. Oh, we got to do that. I was wondering, when I was looking at my bar down below, it looked like there was a different icon. So it does say here, updated the game.exe icon, and lots of bug fixes. Man, it's crazy that games still actually do icons. I can't remember the last game that I've opened from like double clicking on an exe. Anyways, lots of bug fixes. Fixed in 0.12.0B2696. Ask for it by name. Again. Fixed an issue where audio on weapons will continue when firing is interrupted, such as on beams. Fixed thrusters staying on when dash is interrupted or when retreating after dashing. Fixed occasional loud explosion when destroying props on various map. I'm not 100% sure what they mean by props. I think this might mean like the radio tower level. They mean the radio tower. But I suspect that's probably a developer term. Plural? Yeah. Fixed audio doubling up when starting a new game. Fixed an issue where selecting another unit while canceling an action will reset the appearance of the action on the timeline. Fixed cutscene audio carrying to the game if the cutscene is skipped too quickly. Fixed an exception on ML turrets. I guess that's missile launcher turrets. Fixed tooltips on armor unit summary in the base being cut off by the right side of the screen. Minor fix to aiming animations. Fixed all its Z fighting, as a good Canadian, on various armor sets. Fixed an occasional exception, which occurs at the end of an attack with a plasma repeater. Fixed missing art on the back home event occurs when loading a game from version 0.2.0 or older. Again, I just want to take a quick moment here and say that I think it's very impressive that the Phantom Brigade team has been really pushing for backward compatibility between saves. It's one of the reasons why I've been able to kind of continue play the game as it is, rather than sort of start a brand new session each time. Which, again, I'd get very familiar with the early game and maybe not so familiar with the final fight, which was really impressive. But that doesn't come for free, right? Obviously, when they do these updates, it needs to incorporate the fact that some of these saves might be very old versions. So I believe while I've been playing this, there's been exactly one update that had a compatibility issue. And I think in that case, they gave you the option, but sort of recommended that you start a new save. Overall, though, again, I'm not a developer. I know a little C#. I know more than a little Python. I can open Unity. But having been around a bunch of indie games and played stuff that's in early access, I do need to comment that, you know what? I can bring the music back. Yeah, I do just want to say, like, that's not something that, like, this compatibility stuff doesn't come for free. So the fact that we're seeing very few little notes like this, I'm maybe surprised a bit. But I think it's very cool that they've added that support, because it's definitely shaped the way that I have engaged with the game over early access. Finally, items can no longer be equipped on mechs without arms. And for those on experimental, fixed an issue where reinforcements walked onto maps instead of dropping in. So I would really like to play some more Phantom Experimental. I tend to play sort of the base patch as it goes through because I'm streaming the game. But if anybody would like to see the experimental branch at some point, I have no problem loading that up and running with that instead. Anyways, I did say there were going to be some new credits, so there's a couple things that we're going to do. So currently we got our Content Pack 1, new combat areas and animation improvements. Content Pack 2, which will be coming in a couple of weeks, dynamic weather system, new narrative events, and new railgun weapons. And then, where are the credits? Oh, that's right, it's in the help pages. So, Adelaide Jenkins, project lead engineer. Artyom Zuev. Again, apologies on the names, I'm not that good. Technical artist and programmer, Pavel Efimov, 3D artist and technical artist. Pete Thornycroft, animator and technical animator. Nikita Cotter, junior game designer and face of Phantom Brigade. Alex Vostrov, programmer, production support team. Alexa, I think it's Scheiss. Apologies for pronouncing it incorrectly. Cedar QA tester, Bahar Von Mogadam QA tester, Dakota Bozeman Kennedy junior QA tester. I happen to know that Dakota got their job. I don't know. I'm fairly certain that they got their job through answering a posting on the careers site. So Brace Yourself does hire every once in a while. Those of you looking to break in, I recommend checking it out. Obviously, it depends on how desperate, well, not desperate, but how eager you are, whether or not you want to wait for the right job or not. But these games don't happen unless good people make them, right? And there are a lot of very good people at Brace Yourself, and you may be one of them. Anyways, I didn't want to sell that too much because I don't believe they're hiring right now, but there was a recent batch of jobs that popped up. All right, Hannah Hildebrandt, visual effects and technical artist. Lulu Kadim, writer. Marlon Weeb, video producer, and actually somebody who hung out in the local game dev scene in Ottawa, I found out. So Matt Donatelli, producer and additional design. Mel Sievers, assistant video producer, and is you'd see from the video, you'd think is quite short. Especially in costumes, a lot taller than I thought. Mubin, I think it's Fikri, technical director. Nick Gunn, 3D art. Oliver Trujillo, additional programming. Ryan Clark, executive producer and additional design. Sarah Kuchitsky, tools programming. Tina Tai, writer. Operations team, Chelsea Ferguson, office manager. Chloe Ezra, assistant event manager. Cindy Chow, event manager. James Chan, chief operations officer. Jared Tan, community intern. Lily Lee, financial controller. Madeline Gray, senior community manager. Music composition, Riley Cunning. Sound design by Power Up Audio, Joey Goddard, Cole Vanderbeer, Jeff Tangsok, Kevin Regamy, and Craig Barnes. Illustrations by Alan Blackwell, Edison Moody, Francisco Santoyo, Jeffrey Ernault. Sorry, I'm on a weird angle, so some of the text is a little small for me. Thomas Scholes and Tom Moore, the Mogi Group, additional QA service by Marlos Dionai, Nick Valsamakis, Raphael Torner, Soren Seraphim, Zoe Vistenzo. Streamline Games, additional development services. Azri Maslin, programmer. Isal Amani, producer. Lai Dixon, programmer. Ramesh Balachandran, or possibly Balachandran. Probably Cha. Lead programmer. Shanli Merman, lead programmer. And Yip Hong Chen, producer. I'm really curious how this all works. Like, so, you normally see something like an Assassin's Creed game with like 1,000 people on the team, but I know like Ubisoft just kind of has this mob that goes from project to project. I'm really curious what it's like to work this through. Obviously, the number of people on the team is very small, and like in the core team, and these credits have continued to grow. So, anyways, diversity consultant Dietrich Squinky Squinkfair, voice acting Kaylin Dorval, Dick Fairfax, Elspeth East. Hartman and Kezia Seddon. And then I am going to skip over kind of the... what I'll do, I'll skip over Brace Yourself because I believe I've covered most of these. I realize there's a few names such as Andy Wynn and Antoine Landrabeam. I'm sorry. There's a few people who are obviously they do help out, but and they don't appear elsewhere in here. But we'll be here all night if I continue on with it. So just a few more. Tetragon Works. This is the company for previously. Let's say Dan Rosas, Aura Triolo, and Chad Jenkins. Community moderator Mr. Quinoline. For those of you checking out the Discord, you'll be very familiar. And again, I do want to apologize to some of the other special thanks and such. I gotta get on with it. And I think probably it goes without saying, although it should be said, I have been given a key for this game as well. Same with Industries of Titan. So again, I am a very enthusiastic supporter of Brace Yourself games, and I really think these are excellent games. Brace Yourself is currently an Epic exclusive, but it will be coming to Steam when it is ready. It's worth remembering that the version of Industries of Titan that people got on Steam was better, and Brace Yourself does not necessarily make more money by waiting to put something on Steam. I know that is very commonly said, but I believe Madeline Gray, the senior community manager, has come out and very clearly said that that is not the reason why something's going in. But the feedback and the community for the games do grow when it's added to Steam, so you really only get to fire that bullet once. So I think it makes sense. But when they are ready, they'll let us know if you've been waiting on Steam the whole time. But as always, I was given the key. I like the game, but I think it's maybe worth remembering that I'm a little biased in the sense that I was given a key for promotional purposes. Okay, so we're going to do the unit repairs, but I don't think we need to be standing still for that. So let's move to liberate the next town. We're probably going to get there, yeah, just in time. So we have been going after regions that are a bit tough. So you can attempt to gain control of the structure by mounting an assault with your squad. Suit up. Alright, what's the story here with the hammer? That's right. So I've got a very, very tired group of fighters, or pilots, but I don't believe I have any others, so I think we're gonna keep the same group. There's definitely I definitely feel like there's some adjustments that I can make to the lineup, but this has been working for us so far. And we are going after Kien. Town, the spec ops own it. Enemy level 11. No intel available. Eliminating any occupying hostile units in this town will increase hope and return the civilians to freedom. I thought it had another description about what the mission was, but let's give it a shot. CR2 on the field. What's taking you so long there? Surround them and finish them off. Okay, 4 enemies on the field. What are we up against here? So we've got okay, so this has got an autocannon. If I can engage it at range, I will. We've got an assault rifle, so if we can, we'd like to take this thing intact. Beam and a compact launcher. That's going to be a tricky one to deal with. And a machine gun and a shield. So this one's probably just going to stay put and make us sad. And I don't think it indicates that there will be reinforcements. So, okay, so the next question is who's going to be coming after us? So they're going right down the middle with that beam weapon, aiming for Kilo. So one thing about the beam weapon, if I recall correctly, is that it does take a bit of, like, it takes a bit of effort to turn it around. So the one thing I'd love to do is try and have that thing pointed, no. I was hoping I might be able to see it pointed to to one of the other enemy units. I think what I got to do here is just zip around the edge. Do something like that. What happens? Okay, we run through. So yeah, everybody's firing at me. Okay, so there I... Ooh. Yeah, that's not the done thing. Okay, so here we get to hide. Ah, interesting. Okay, I know how I'm going to handle this. So I'm going to head over here first. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to dash. So while it's technically true that they're firing on me, I'm going to... Basically, while I'm exposed, I'm going to... I'm going to minimize the amount of time that I spend in that exposed area. And of course, I'm going to be hard to hit in general. And then... I suppose the other thing I can consider is... Yeah, you know, we don't need to get fancy. We'll go for the flank when we can. Okay. So this unit has a machine gun. Actually, this is a bit of a no-brainer here, I think. So it does cross over into the next turn. I'm not crazy about that, but I'll make it work. Now this unit, I do need to move out of the way of the... I do need to move out of the way of the... Do I? Okay, here's what I'm going to do instead. Let's take my melee unit. Okay, cool. Run them up like this. Is there a way I can get here without... Nice, okay. I could probably get a melee strike in somewhere. Oh yeah, actually. Yeah, no, we'll still do it. I am running a bit of a risk in the sense that I'm going into autocannon, the autocannon firing area. But this is going to enable something pretty cool. Okay, so the reason why I did that whole song and dance there is that that's going to give me enough time to set up this shot. So I got two people in sort of a choke point. If I could, I would also include the machine gun inside of that, except that we do need to deal with this unit. So what I'll probably do is move this unit up, and we'll start focusing on them. So this is a little bit of a building turn, but we should be able to get some good stuff happening. Okay, so we got a little damage. Okay, so most important thing right now is to see what my... All right, yeah. So they're gonna get mean. Okay, I probably won't be able to hit the second one, but that's still a good shot. So in the meantime, we need to cool down a little bit. Cool. So because I've got my own unit coming in, I don't necessarily want to be all that more accurate. So we're just going to move on to our next next position. I'm assuming this has to do something with the move, yeah. So I don't think they're going to crash into me because we should already be hitting them with the melee weapon. Okay, so it looks like quite a few people dislike my unit with the assault rifle. Fair enough. So that is a machine gun that's going to be pointed at me. Actually, it's both. It's both again. Okay. Well, let's try and work with what we've been given. So we will run through like that. That's fine. Okay, so they go shooting through the building. Okay, that does give me a little bit of a beam hit. So I am actually just going to stand and wait. And then when I can, we'll do a little bit of a reply. Nothing crazy, but... So, I do want to see how this turns out. So we are going to do this slow. A little friendly fire there, but we might be able to knock this unit out. Oh, I didn't realize what weapon they were firing with. Oh no, I was mistaken, sorry. I thought this was the one with the compact launcher. Now, it did occur to me, I'm actually hitting the one with the beam weapon, I think. Yeah, so the friendly fire incident I wanted isn't actually going to happen. And another friendly fire incident. That's gonna go all straight in the shield. What do they keep in these buildings? Anyways, it's hard to feel it's hard to feel upset about that round. I would have preferred it if my melee unit didn't take so much damage, but we took out I think 3 units that round if I'm not mistaken. Tank, beam guy, machine gunner I think is still up. Nope, that's the assault rifle. Maybe it was only 2. Either way, we're in good shape. Although we are going to be wasting a lot of firepower. I guess it's because the unit that was being attacked is doesn't exist anymore. Anyway, this should be a pretty simple one. Whack him with the axe and move on. Okay, this unit is just defending it. Is just putting up its shield, so this should be Again, another pretty straightforward solution. So I'm going to build the turn around I'm going to build the turn around, sort of moving the melee unit in and kind of getting out of a tough spot. Now, the one bit I struggle with, and again, remembering that Phantom Brigade is all about having knowledge of sort of your enemy's movements or their intentions, but that doesn't necessarily translate to so there's a meaningful distinction to be drawn between perfect foreknowledge, which the game does not give you, and an idea of your enemy's intentions, which the game definitely does give you. Oh, now I know why the explosions were happening. Because we knocked... What did we knock through that? I think this raises more questions than it answers. I'd rather not knock into the bump into that. So yeah, that'll do. But yeah, so the thing is that it's all well and good for me to say I'm going to hit this guy with the axe, but then the question is, like, where do they go? So one of the things I want to try and do is move my units in such a way that I can try and anticipate where the enemy is going to be, but to do so in a way that doesn't result in too much sort of crossfire. So, all right, that's not helpful. So here I'm just going to jump on a roof. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to do that twice. Ooh, that's a bit hot. So here I'm kind of running on an assumption that there's no way I'm going to be cold enough for this. Yeah, maybe we'll just leave it be for now. Again, nothing for me to do here. Seems to me like I'm pretty safe if I just stay here. So we'll make sure I don't overheat for no reason. Obviously, I'm making an assumption here that I'm going to be safe. I didn't realize... Hang on, they're just using the shield though, right? Yeah. So I won't uselessly attack a third time because that might be friendly fire. What I am going to do though, this time around, I think I'm going to do this in full speed. I guess we should do it close up to see the attack. Oh, that didn't work. What is going on here? I thought we were the Phantom Brigade. All right, well, plan B. Okay, so there's definitely an attack coming on this unit. I don't really need to jet. Maybe I do. Okay, that gets me a little security. The hope here is that we're not going to do a repeat of the... Okay, that should do the trick. And then again, hopefully as security. So if we get this unit in position. The funny thing is I don't actually think anybody's in position in that column, so we're just gonna leave the heavy weapon where it is. It might be the same story with the... yeah, I'm nowhere remotely close enough to be effective there. So we'll move forward, we'll see if we can jump... well, it's about as close as I'm gonna be able to get it. I'm pretty sure if I do this, I just shoot through the building. Yeah. So I suppose the last step is... and then that's too hot, so we'll leave it be. I've got a shield, so I'm not as worried about that unit. So the assault rifle I protected, but I didn't do anything else with it. Okay, so... you know what, I'm just gonna leave him. There we go. Oh, that one stood though. Okay, we definitely need to join the fight now. Okay, so again, the assault rifle's doing a very good job as bait, so that's exactly how I'm going to keep using them. I believe we are now ready to let her rip with the Vulcan. Although curiously, I should have paid closer attention to this. We're actually a little further away than we should be. That's gonna have consequences because this guy's gonna be moving to the side. So maybe what we do is we open fire on this unit. Yeah. Okay, yeah, so they're starting right away on me. So one thing I can do is at least sort of face forward while they shoot at me. Okay, let's see how this works. Yeah, so they're moving the wrong way. The heavy's not going to do that much damage. So this might actually cause me to crash. In the meantime, though, again, I just have plenty of opportunities to make the enemy miserable with my machine guns, so I should take those. Alright, that one's not as compelling. So I may want to rethink where I'm standing. Here. Well, I'll move and we'll figure out after the fact. But again, it looks like all eyes are on the the assault. So I'm gonna dash to make sure that they're pointing at the wrong Wrong person. I'm gonna wait it out. Then we're gonna move to the side, and I get to reply. Okay. Shield isn't exactly the best. Shield isn't like the sort of thing that I want to. Oh, he's ejecting. All right. I'm fine chasing this unit down. Okay, so it's pretty clear that I need to move my. Machine gunner. There's not a lot of good spots to shoot from. It's gonna be running kind of high on the heat, but so my best bet here, I think, is to move the ultra heavy in this street. So it's not the most exciting of the options, but it does mean if they try to engage us in the center here, we can punish them. Again, I need to remember that this unit's pretty much always under attack. So, oop, trip over the top of my head, so that's no good. So I don't believe this game quite works yet, where if the building that you're standing on is destroyed, your unit takes damage. I know that's a thing in BattleTech, and for all I know, it could be coming in here. But I believe the fact that I am drawing fire potentially into this building, especially if this one falls, falls to the fire, I don't believe that's going to harm my machine gunner. But that would, under normal circumstances, that would be something I would need to consider. Sorry, no, that wasn't a very cinematic turn. Okay, yeah, they are really focused on this one unit. Fair enough. They are pretty smart in terms of their movement, because it's done two things. So number one, I believe they're now within the... Yeah, so this ultra heavy weapon is not the same kind of threat to them anymore, so I definitely need to move back. Although, I do think I at least get to start messing with them. All right. I don't have a lot of hope for the melee unit making that work, but what I'm going to do is just I'm going to try and intercept them on this angle. And then, as usual, I just need to find sort of a safe path for my my unit with the assault rifle to take. So that will be a collision. Okay. This is all good. So they've cleared out that street. Okay, I'll leave it be like this. I would actually kind of like to get this unit popping in and doing a little bit of chip damage, but I don't think it will be necessary in this case. I think we're going to deliver enough hurt on our own. So this unit ejects. Nope, they're still going for it. All right. Yeah, man, it's still this unit that they really want I don't know what I don't know what inspired this, but they clearly have taken this guy pretty personally. Sorry, it's Kilo though, so taken Ingrid pretty personally. Okay, now it's a little tricky with the... Actually, it's not. Doesn't have to be tricky. I just need to find the right moment. I think the rest will sort itself out, but I'm kind of assuming that this unit's not standing by the end of the turn. The assumption was a good one. Okay, so this should be pretty good for salvage. We actually had a lot of intact enemy units, so I tend to like taking the full... Ooh, that should be a good upper body. That Hurricane may also be a maybe an upgrade. So yeah, the first thing I like to do, even if I don't necessarily keep it, I do like trying to make sure that I like giving myself the option of having the upgraded parts. The remaining question is just how do I get the most scrap? I definitely don't need as much scrap as I used to, but it's still nice to have a reserve. So if I recall correctly, uppers are worth the most. So this arm is worth... Sorry, when I say scrap, I mean supplies. This is worth 10 supplies for an arm, 20 for a lower, 25 for a heavy arm, so light and heavy. Oh, that's interesting. So both of these are Helga arms, but this one produces 25 and this one produces 10. So I've apparently been thinking about this wrong the whole time. So I always sort of thought, oh man, that makes it... Oh my goodness, Anishel! It has been such a long time since I've seen that name. Folks, this has been, let me just take a, I don't know how often you're streaming, Anishel, but it's actually funny because I know, I got to watch you on the Paradox, the PDXCon video, and I was thinking about Night Team 4. So I've been a little truant. Anishel is a very talented game developer in Montreal. The company is Alice and Smith. So some of you who've been hanging around for a while will remember a game that I played called Night Team 4. And this is something that just sort of came kind of out of the blue from, I think it was something, it was Keymailer or something like that. But so what Alice and Smith does is a bunch of really interesting sort of ARG stuff. I don't know if I don't know if they count as full ARGs or ARG style games. I'm not quite sure the correct terms. But Night Team 4 in particular really caught my attention because it's sort of this hacking simulator. I actually know a lot of you really got into really got into some of this stuff. I know a few of you downloaded, I think it's Kali Linux, as a result of this. Sorry, I'm just taking a second here to bring up the page. And the game is still a going concern. Now, I didn't stop playing it for any particular reason, but I have been really busy on a lot of games lately, and I stopped doing some of the missions. I picked up Operation Withering Dusk, because one of the things I really wanted to do is to sort of share that with everyone. But there was actually a particularly nice thing that someone had written quite some time ago. And I hope you got the message, Anishel. I'm sure I can find it again if it didn't come through. But somebody actually reached out to me a few months ago, and it said, it might be one of you here. I can't remember I apologize. I don't remember the specific name. So if you were the one, feel free to speak up. But somebody actually said that they wound up going to school for computer science as a result of this game. Which to me was absolutely I mean, obviously I only get credit for streaming the game, but obviously, Anishel and their team have put together a game which has sort of spoken. I guess it's been true enough to its theme and to its subject that it's really provoked enough interest for its audience. To make a big decision like making that their major. I mean, I know I did a little computer science in school, but more as an elective rather than and as a TA than as another. Yeah, no worries, Anishel. Sorry, I don't want to make a big deal out of it, but it's been such a while, and I do want to take a chance to shout it out. I should actually say, I mean, obviously I don't like doing enthusiastic promises of like things coming up before, but I've not forgotten Night Team 4. I was actually debating on trying to use some of the administrator tools on stream, and then I just got busy. But this is actually something, maybe for those of you who were wondering what happened to Night Team 4, it is coming back. I just need to find the right block of time for it. And because I got a chance to see, Anishel stop by, it's a chance for me to share a really interesting game with you, which is, was it? I don't know if it got the full... I don't know if it's gotten the Unreal Engine bit yet. Stinger OS 1.3 was Stinger OS the 1.3 one? Anyways, there's been some big changes either added to the game or forthcoming. And I'm in particular looking for... Oh, is it Sec 9? Yes, sorry, Sec 9, that's right. So that's in beta, isn't it? Yeah. Anyways, sorry, I don't want to... It's probably better if you're interested, you can check out the game. And we are going to be going back to this relatively soon. But yeah, there's some big change. For those of you who maybe checked out Night Team 4 and have sort of been like me in the sense that it's something that you put aside for a little while and are meaning to come back, you're going to have a lot of reasons to be playing there are a lot of reasons to play Night Team 4. But if you've not been checking out the game, definitely do so, because there was a bit of a demo of it during PDXCon, and of course Alison Smith helped out with a lot of the really cool stuff that was on display there, not just in terms of the demo that they did, but also just setting up the event, and some of that tech is going to be going inside of their games, and it's going to, again, it's just going to create an entirely new experience. So I'm sorry, I'm going to keep rambling on for, well, no, it's not rambling, but I'm going to keep sort of singing the praises, which I think is, in one sense, is really good. But again, just like with Phantom Brigade and all of that, one of my favorite things to do is to talk about Canadian developers, Canadian games. So this is a chance to sort of relive, to bring up another favorite. And say hi to a developer who I really like. So, hello, I hope you've been well. I know the last little while has probably been a bit tough school-wise, at least if I'm on my own, so lockdowns don't affect me as much, but I have to assume that was a little bit of a tricky time. Thank you so much for stopping by. All right, so what we're doing here, we're just going to do basically I'm trying to hit the scrap on most of the intact parts. They don't cost as much. And then here I'll probably have room for one more. Yeah, that take us there. So in this case, we'll just go for the one. I'm assuming it's going to be the upper body that gives us the most supplies. But in this case here, I'm pretty much past the point of wanting any gray parts for my... Thank you very much. Yeah, well, I'm sure I'll be in touch. If nothing else, I'll definitely tag the account the next time I stream Night Team 4, because it's been a while, and I really want to go. I really want to come back to it. But yeah, so in this case, you can't. This is a change that came in a few patches ago, so they've changed it so that the you now have a budget in terms of your scrap. The more mechs you've taken out, the larger the budget you have, and the more that you destroy, basically, the more expensive it is to recover the gear that you need. So in this case here, we'll take the supplies. We might re-equip some of the, some of the items that we recovered, but in the meantime, we'll just wait. Oh, this is neat. I think this is one of the new events. Okay, very friendly fire. One of the luxuries of liberation is the return of festivities. As your team rests near a settlement they helped free, you notice a lot of activity starting up. In the town square, there are stalls selling fluffy potato pancakes slathered in lingonberry jam and steaming bowls of curry filled with dumplings. Others sell caramelized nuts and other sweet treats. Others still have handmade crafts. I am kind of hungry now. It's our Festival of Fire, Civilian declared. Oh, this is... Okay, yes. I think Lulu said... the Soggy Newspaper in chat. Said she was wanted to see what happens when I did this. So this is very long in coming, but let's see. I think this is the one we've been waiting for. Okay, it's our Festival of Fire, a civilian declares when the pilot asks. We couldn't have done it during the occupation, so we're now finally free to put it on. You can stay if you'd like, her partner says to you. We'll light the bonfire as soon as there are some great fire dancers. And there are some great fire dancers performing later. So we can feed the team. Your pilots are eyeing those potato pancakes with interest. We give up 60 supplies, but we recover some fatigue, and it costs 5 hours. We can help light the bonfire, celebrate the Festival of Fire from the front lines. So that's a little bit of fatigue recovery, but that's it. We can donate. You can't stay, but you can contribute to the raffle. So in this case, we give up supplies instead of time, and then leave. There are no more pressing issues at hand. No, we're definitely feeding the team. Actually, while I'm at it, let's see if we can improve some of our units. The Sleipnir might have a new assault rifle. Okay, so shorter effective range, but not by a whole lot. Night Valian, how you doing, my friend? I sort of fell asleep. I tried watching your... I tried coming back to your stream, and then I pretty much immediately fell asleep. So, I'm sorry about that, but for those of you who don't know it, Night Valian's really good at putting you to sleep. No. Night Valian has... Night Valian is a Brazilian streamer. Soft-voiced. Definitely someone who I highly recommend checking out. I don't recall what you were playing last night. That's Nivalian. I'm trying to shout out Night Valian. Yeah, I'm late streaming because I fell asleep and after dinner. Oh, that's right. You were playing Inscription. I'm sorry. I don't know. I have no idea why why I forgot that. That was obviously we were talking about that being a Vancouver game. Did you get to the... I know you're getting close to not exactly the... Oh, actually, I gotta be careful how I say that. Did you get past your dealer? Either way, he's currently playing You don't think so? Well, you'd know. That was the fight that I saw you. The fight I last saw you doing. So if you didn't, you probably you're probably fine. Okay, so what do I want here? Better integrity and barrier on this part. The heat dissipation, not so much. Slightly better power, but I think, yeah, that's because of the regen core. Okay, well, with that in mind, so if we take this, and then we stick the overdrive core on it. Excuse me. Nope, that was genuinely better dissipation. Still, I think that's a pretty decent. I think that's a pretty decent upgrade. Yeah, I'll go with the overdrive core for now. Probably don't need any of this stuff. Why didn't I equip this gun? Yeah, we'll definitely give it the spark. Okay, so we have better arms. So either they're not listed as new though, so why didn't I already put them on? Alright, that's fine. And these are heavier. Pretty sure... Yeah, the empty plating's pretty much going to mean that that's always true. Looks like these Nox legs are better. I do lose a little barrier, but the total integrity is lower. So I don't really know why I made the Sleipnir sort of like the hero mech as far as the all the new parts are concerned, but I'm not opposed to the decisions that I made here. I am, however, going to take a minute here and grab the. I think we'll take the gavel. So ideally with this unit, we're gonna try and make it a little more survivable without sacrificing any kind of speed. So yeah, this is a great example. We're able to replace that. Buddy, gotta want to make sure that I get the livery back, but I think it was Spec Ops. Yeah. Okay, so I've got a simple blast here. Shorter firing interval, but significantly lower damage output. So there was a side of me that would say, well, maybe the tear, like the blade, is a better option here. The catch is that this handgun has a mass 1, whereas this blade has a mass 4. And obviously, I'm gonna be like waving around the axe more than I'm gonna be, attacking with anything else. So the only other thing I might want to equip is a shield, but in this case here, that's gonna once again it's gonna add a bunch of weight to a unit that really is all about moving. This is a pure aggression mech. Like, there's really no benefit to me kind of trying to have it both ways and protect myself. Like, this thing's just got to move fast and it needs to hit hard, and if it fails to do those two things, then the pilot's in trouble. Okay, right item. Unless it's a better and a heavier weapon, I don't see any reason to switch it. No, it doesn't say. All right. So as before, we'll just take a quick look. Yeah, so the masses are off, so I'm not interested there. Right arm, same story. Lower body, we probably already gave up the good legs, but let's see. So total survivability is actually probably better with these lower legs. And they do have a better mass. So if I go for these Helga lower legs, so this is a trickier one because there is a small increase to mass, a small cost in terms of mass and heat dissipation. But as you can see, they're big, beefy legs, right? They're ones they're definitely ones will keep me survivable, and easily the largest increase to survivability. The arrow legs. So the arrow legs are kind of tempting just because they do like really reduce the mass. I don't know, though. So the total survivability does not go up with these. But the mass does improve. So that's a 13. And mass improves by 213. Okay, so this one is lighter. I think I'm going to leave it as it is. Okay. Hammer's kind of a similar story here. We want to make sure that the heat dissipation is better. So technically there is no major reason for me to make this a light body, except for the fact that it is nice to have some more maneuverability. So it's basically about the maneuverability and the heat dissipation. Heat dissipation or heat capacity, actually. So for instance here, this is perfect. So we'll equip one of those. I'll see if maybe I can switch out the core. So if I could do a core with better heat capacity. Yeah, so the charge core might be... Yeah, but let's give... let's actually try that. Okay, so clearly we're not going to change the weapon. There's one reason this thing exists. Okay, so we can lose a little bit of mass but gain a bit of heat dissipation. I am actually rather tempted by this prospect. So what I'm going to do here is I'll stick one of these on. And we can stick hollowed plating on it. Now that might be a problem. Nope. Not a problem at all. Okay, all of this I think we gain too much mass in exchange. Oh, but it's because this thing has got empty plating. So if I stick the regenerative plating on this guy, how do the others compare? All of a sudden they look so much better, what do you know? Alright, so I'm going to give it the other Nox arm, but we'll stick the empty plating on it. So I think total survivability's still gone up, but it's still pretty skinny arms. Like, I don't want this thing to be taking fire. Okay. So an improvement on mass, but a slight reduction in heat dissipation. Now, most of the stuff that I've equipped has got pretty good heat dissipation, so I think I'm gonna rest with what I've been given. And the last step here, we're just gonna make sure that they have the right livery. So I think it was Field A that, or did I make them solid green? Now we'll go for. Field A will do the trick here. I can't recall if Army G3 is a look we want. Okay, so we took care of the gavel, the hammer, the Sleipnir. A stalwart is currently in the team, so we will see if there's any improvements here. Again, I'm feeling it's less likely. Actually, the first thing I should probably check is the machine gun. Okay, slight reduction in concussive damage. Big boost to... Alright. It's really hard to argue with the... It's really hard to argue with the damage increase. The loss of concussive doesn't drive me crazy, and then I'm not 100% sure... Like, the range is actually pretty... I'm not happy with what happens with the range. So we're at 39.72. This is 48.75. So I'm not able to do as much close range stuff. But I try not to let these... Like, I try not to let these things... Oh, man. I think I might change the look. That does look pretty neat. Yeah, we'll, I think we're going to stick with this. Okay. I don't think the shield gets replaced, so right now this is a 1788. Yeah, not even close. So, pretty unlikely the arms will be replaced, but yeah. Doesn't hurt to look. And finally, the lower body. So, currently we've got a light lower body. Oh. Yeah, this is the empty plating that's doing that. So, obviously it's a little tempting to try and get the extra mass. This Nox is actually a little more attractive. But it is one of my more... Like, it's kind of a frontline defensive unit that's getting a reduction to its overall survivability. That's about 150 in defensibility that I'm sort of losing there, so... I think I'm going to... I think I'm going to accept it. If I recall correctly, the design I originally went for was the fact that it would have sort of this kind of cold pattern except for the left side, which would actually have the shiny livery. It doesn't really apply anymore here, so let's maybe see... For the right arm, is there something a little more... Something a little more solid that I can do. I'm particularly trying to see if there's like an iridescent that I can do. Okay, we'll take a quick look here on the linebacker. I don't think there's a whole lot for me to mess around with here. I'm really looking for sort of the really clear upgrades. Ah, actually the Ajax shield might be okay, a little bit heavier, but I think we can work with that. This one has got the beam weapon. So nothing to change there. Okay, and we do have improvements for the arms. I mean, these are pretty much a no-brainer. Where are those nice bright yellow legs that I had? I think neutral yellow is the best I can hope for here. Definitely doesn't feel as bright as the previous one, though. I wonder what changed. Anyways, these are the right legs to stick on this one. Right now it's got a basic gyro. Well, it's the same. Okay. So the last here... Oh, no, I guess it is the... No, we've already done this stalwart, but the lance. Let's see if there's anything we can do with them. Again, I'm not going to go crazy on it. I'm mostly looking for absolute... I'm mostly looking for ones that sort of have a clear dominance. Okay, well, clearly better shield here. I don't even think we have another shotgun. Yeah, so we can leave that be. We lose a bit of the barrier, but we get the... Yeah, I think this is the right call. So we're going to be able to scrap a bunch of stuff in the... Okay, so that's the whole... Those are all of my mechs sort of handled. So what we're going to do now is we're basically going to find anything gray. We're going to replace those. So the tougher one here are like these parts that are just sort of hanging around. Like, so for instance, is it possible that I'm going to wind up using this arrow? So the reason why this becomes a little bit of a dilemma is that you can get... So there are special components that you can get from these from like the rare items. So it's not just the grays that you want to get rid of. Like, some of these things are going to be worth quite a bit. The challenge is, again, I don't really know quite what I want to do with the rest of the team. So in this particular case, I'm just going to say, okay, I'm sure there are some improvements that I can do here. There's some efficiencies, but for now, I'm going to say they're all sort of within the parameters. It's basically 8 to 12, I think, is the range of 8 to 12, and then like there's only one 8, so it's like 9 to 12. In this case here, I think we're just going to keep it. When it comes down to the workshop, which, by the way, new music. Well, not the newest music, but there's a bunch of stuff that we can build here. I don't know. Like, it's at some point I'm going to want to take advantage of that workshop, but for now we'll just enjoy the Fire Festival. So I know I'm getting close to the end because I started late. I can't go too far past the normal time because I do have some things that I need to do tonight. But I do want to make sure that I do some proper gameplay. Let's see if we can liberate the region. Alright, you can attempt to gain control of the structure by mounting an assault with your squad. So it's facility liberation. Civilian facility, while it is not enforced, units that guard it may be more challenging and will often call for reinforcements. So apparently this is now normal difficulty. Which makes sense, because of course we equipped everything from the... Wow, okay, we really didn't get that much from the Fire Festival. Alright. We already took the time to build up the units that we wanted, so again, I can switch out different mechs, but we're just gonna... We'll go straight for the encounter. Let's see how well we can do with our worn out squad. Dropping in, command is getting impatient. Let's get this over and done with. And we get to see a fancy new map. Hey, and this... I think you all know I really like this song. Sorry, I'm trying to hold my tongue on something I heard. But if you know, if you're listening, you know who you are. And I really like it. So, okay, so we got a pair of snipers. Now, it doesn't list reinforcements coming in, so I'm a little freaked out. So, like, in one sense, this can work very well for me, and in another, this will be a disaster. Because again, we are going against challenging enemies. Okay, here's how I'm going to handle this. They're both targeting this unit, who does admittedly have a shield, but we'll minimize any potential harm. Okay. So the most important thing to me here is that we be able to take advantage of their positioning. My favorite move would be to do something like this, but you notice it takes me half the turn, which means we don't get the advantage of them clustering up like this. So I think in this case we'll just let her rip. Oh, nope, that's not a good range. Okay. So that's about as close as I'm going to get and still be able to... Because the thing is, I need to get out of here if... I need to get out of here if it seems like they're going to... if it seems like they're going to attack this particular unit. So the other thing I want to do... let's move around this side. And I am playing with fire with this. I really want to do that melee attack, but I really don't want to risk falling over when the attack finishes. Okay, you know what? We might get bonked on the head, so be it. I'll do it as a second melee attack and see if that helps me out any. Okay, so this unit, we're just going to wait for the end of the attack. The attack doesn't last all that long, so good news for me, I guess. This is a little bit of a risk that I'm taking here, but I think it's one I'm willing to work with. Alright. Let's see how this goes. Not the easiest angle to work with. Missed. Oh, no. But they are still standing. So why isn't the, Oh, no. I didn't even check to see if these two were moving around. Oh, that's potentially really ugly. Okay, that could have been beautiful, except that my two units bonked each other on the head. All right, that's fine. We'll make it work. Oof. So if they move... See, I think if they move like that, I just miss them for the majority of the time. So I think it's actually probably better that I sort of hit them closer to the end there. Okay, so I need to be very conscious of my... So if I just try and run, what happens? Okay, I can get to cover in time. That's exactly what I need. So I'm actually betting I can just run around the edge like that. Okay, that's not going to work. Huh, okay. It's a bit of a weird turn for this guy. So the one worry that I have is that I'm in a pretty open spot by the end of this, but so one of them is getting demolished by the heavy weapon. The other one's going to be surrounded by some of my other units. So I think it's okay, even though I'm putting the assault unit in sort of a dangerous area. I think I can still get away for the most part with the okay. Yeah, I think I can get away with most of what I want to do here. Okay, so the missiles are tricky to deal with. I think my best option here, honestly, is just to dash and hide behind the wall, which is such a lame way of using this particular unit. But I think it's the best I can do against the... Oh no. Alright. Well, did the trick. It's a lot of nice concussive damage there. Okay, so big question as always, who's getting attacked? So there is another batch of sniper fire coming after my machine gunner. This unit is... Alright, they decided to go after the heavy. So if I can do something to disrupt that, I should. So first priority, basically fire as many times as I can against this at this unit. So even though I wind up with a bit of heat for it, get it done. I think my next step is actually also going to be to hop off the edge. That's probably too slow. You know what? It still might be enough to save me. So. I don't know if this will actually do anything, but... Okay, so in the meantime... Ooh, hang on. Yeah, let's not try and get clever with that. Okay, so where I can, let's try and, again, do whatever... So at this point, the immediate threat to the... The immediate threat to the heavy weapon's been eliminated. So it's not as critical for me to sort of throw everything at taking out this particular unit. But again, it's an opportunity for me to do so, so I should try and take it. Okay. In the meantime, this unit's going to be focusing pretty heavily on my my machine gunner. So it seems to me like I've got a perfectly good opportunity to whack him with my axe. Yeah, so that works. And then I'll move along the edge here to... Oops, that's collision course. So then in prep, we'll just make sure, you know, no reason... No reason to risk it. It is a little silly to have such a strong unit just sit behind cover and not, you know, not deal with the enemy. But in this case, the fact that so much attention is being drawn to something that can't do damage, it's letting the rest of my people do their work. So let's enjoy the effort to try and save my heavy weapon. So, kind of as predicted, the more they move, the less effective that weapon's going to be. Oh! It worked. That's a huge amount of concussion. So if I can get the assault rifle on this guy, I'm pretty sure we can put him to bed. Alright. Looks like I tripped over the wrong unit. So this is definitely one where I'm willing to put some some heat. So I figure if I don't make it happen... Yeah. If I don't make it happen in those two, the window's kind of closed. Doesn't mean I won't chase him across the map, though. Okay, so we're going to crash for a bit, and then... Now, as an intermediate step, what I can do is I can move out. Okay, so they're going to fire their rockets at me. I can live with that. Alright, the important thing is they don't fire their sniper rifle at me. So the reason why I'm so scared of the sniper... Actually, this may not be the one with the sniper rifle. Marksman, yeah, marksman's still probably a problem, but... when I was going in with my really weak unit, so these things, in a full volley, it's 896 damage. So consider, especially the way that the damage works now, right? So you take a look at a unit like this... 222 on one of my arms, this unit can't do anything anymore. 413, like even like so a direct hit with the marksman to the torso is a one shot kill. Can't remember if it tells me. It doesn't tell me how many bullets it fires. But again, right, like a full volley damage is essentially enough to eliminate any part on my, on my heavy weapons platform. Even one of my more protected units, right, 806 damage. Again, the marksman, a full volley from the marksman is enough to eliminate that unit. And you can tell this story for basically everything else on my team. So this is one of the reasons why I'll do stuff like hide behind buildings, because for these particular units, it's a really big problem to to get hit. Like the missiles, sure, I'll maybe live with those. The rest of it, I want to try and take them out as early as I can. So let's see if we can make the concussive damage work for us. Looks like we did. Although I probably am crashing again. Cool. All hostiles eliminated. Site under control. We did it just in time for the base to turn around. So we should get some decent scrap out of that. I don't know if we'll be able to take everything. Oh, well, it's all grays anyway, so... Oh, cool. That feels like a fairly easy mission, all told. But yeah, I'm fine for taking the supplies. Now, we haven't liberated this region yet. What gives? There must be another base we haven't detected. Oh, ransacked facility. Your base stops near a civilian facility. There are tens of workers gathered outside looking distressed. You and your pilot approach one of them. There's a base with soldiers not far from here, one woman tells you. Those soldiers have taken almost all of our supplies. We've lost so many days of work. You look at the broken windows of the factories, the tank tracks and the dirt. They've clearly been taking them by force. Will you help us? Please. We'll have to shut down the whole factory without our equipment. So yes, we will recover the supplies. Oh, it's in the Spec Ops space. Okay. I want to try and take a quick second here to see if I can find... There's a convoy. I'm not quite ready to fight. There we go. Okay. I actually got to wrap it up here because it has been 3 hours and well, in 30 seconds it'll be 3 hours and I do need to get some rest. It's almost midnight, and so my original plan was to have about 2 hours of work to do after streaming. And I need to decide whether my sleep is more important or if I'm going to be able to get some of these things through. I was actually really happy to see Anishel stop by, though. I wasn't just saying that because Anishel was stopping by. I actually thought for a couple of months I've been wanting to do more Night Team 4. And I knew there were changes, so there was a side of me that sort of says, like, well, maybe I'll just wait for the changes to come in. And then and then I thought, well, no, that doesn't, like, doesn't mean I can't play it in the meantime. And then obviously more Phantom Brigade, more Titan came by. So I'm sure you've noticed I have a lot of games that I want to stream, and not always the opportunities to cover them when I can. But for those of you that haven't checked it out, I highly recommend looking at Night Team 4 because there really isn't anything like it except for the other Allison Smith games. But that's for another night. I'm gonna work out how I can make it all balance out. But as always, thank you very much for watching. I really like. I mean, both of these games. It's kind of fun. I don't know if I should do this more often. To stream both games in one evening. I don't really think it would work that well, but it kind of turned out this time around because of the finishing off the brace yourself run. I am definitely going to do barring something getting in the way, I will say let's do I'll say we're due Industries of Titan because that's getting a patch tomorrow. For those of you who are hanging around for the Elder Scrolls stuff, that will be happening tomorrow evening around 7 o'clock. If there's a problem on Twitch, that will always be on YouTube. Like I said, Wednesday is Industries of Titan, and then Friday we'll be doing some more Boyfriend Dungeon. I don't know how many dungeons there are in total. I don't know how close we're getting to the end, but I've been enjoying it, and I enjoy hanging out and seeing what that is. And then in a couple of weeks there will be a Phantom Brigade update, and we'll spend some quality time resolving the problems that we introduced in this episode. And finally, sorry, I'm just trying to see who's kicking around. I actually have a few folks. Hang on, I forgot that Age of Empires released. Oh man. I gotta try that. Thank you, Delves. I'm really glad you got a subscription from Anishel. I hope you use those emotes, because I'm having a good time with it. I have a good time when all of you use it. You know what? Let's watch Night Valian do some more Inscription. So he was the fellow I was introducing to you. For those of you who wonder, what's going on while I'm late or streaming so late, or just generally, what's the story? Why do you stream late sometimes, and why do you move on to why do you actually start on time? Yeah, that was Anishel who gifted that. So Anishel is the developer behind that Night Team 4 game that I was talking about. Anyway, sorry. Night Valian is one of my safest choices for hosting at the end. I think some of the qualities that I have, are shared by him. I think that's why a few of you have enjoyed his channel. He is growing it, and generally plays some pretty interesting indies or stuff that's on Xbox Game Pass. So he's generally a safe bet. Anyways, I'm talking too much. Please have a good night. I will see you all Wednesday for more Brace Yourself stuff. Tomorrow if you like the Elder Scrolls, or Friday if you've just been sitting down waiting for me to do some more sword smooching. Until next time, have a good one.